It's the new video game adaptation, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. And is Florence Pugh really a good person? We're gonna find out. That's today on the King's Corner. What's up, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the King's Corner. I have contracted yet another cold. It's been about 5 months since I've really been sick, but guess what? I got the sniffles, a sore throat, the whole thing again. So I'm going to try to keep this brief. But I did want to get this episode out because, things are going to be getting a little different with the show. Next week, we're talking about Super Mario Brothers, Air, we're talking about Paint, we're talking about Mystery Murder 2. But after that, we're going to be talking about some older films because we will be having our son April 13th if he comes on the due date. So we'll still be putting content up, but some of the new releases we're going to have to wait until physical media for. So that's where we're at with that. So Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. This is a movie that has been getting a lot of rave reviews, and I've been very excited to see it. I thought the trailers looked fun. I always like to see Chris Pine. I think he's a great actor. Hugh Grant, I think, is fantastic. Michelle Rodriguez, Justice Smith is in this, which I didn't like Justice Smith at all in the Jurassic no, it was Jurassic Park, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. Didn't like him in that. He screamed a lot. He redeemed himself in the Dominion film, and then he was all right in Detective Pikachu. But this might be his best role yet. I don't know if this story is based off of a story from the Dungeons and Dragons game, because I know it's like a big open world, kind of like RuneScape type thing. So I don't know if this story was pulled from that or it's just completely original. But regardless, it's written in a way that it's very relatable. And you relate to Chris Pine's character, Michelle Rodriguez, their brother and sister relationship, and the story at foot. No spoilers in this video, but I think the story is really good, really entertaining, and we have to. It's basically, the whole film is leading to this big event at the end of the film. So we're kind of having to get one thing, and then we got to go find the other thing. We got to talk to this person. It does very much feel like a video game in that sense, but I don't think that's a bad thing because it's very self-aware. I think the humor is terrific. I think the charismatic performances are fantastic. The visual effects work really well. I think that there's sometimes that the CG and the green screen or whatever doesn't look great. There's a shot that you might see in the trailer where Hugh Grant is standing above in the middle of this giant arena, and there's this bunch of platform, things rising around him, and that was probably the most noticeable CG that I've seen in the movie. But is it a little too long? Maybe they wanted to. I don't want to say cram, but maybe they wanted to put a lot in there. From what you've seen in the game, locations and whatever, they wanted it in there. So I could respect that. I think that the movie is really good. I don't think it's like a terrific film, because the story at the end of the day, the missions we're taking, it's not the most original stuff in the world. And it's really well done, though. I mean, it's fun, it's entertaining. And look, this is a 4 out of 5 star film for me. I really enjoyed it, and I think the rewatchability here is going to be extremely high. And I really love these characters, so hopefully we get a sequel. And now we're going to be talking about the good. I almost said the good nurse. You got the good nurse, the good person. All these movies, good people. This is a good person with Florence Pugh. And going into it, it really reminded me of the movie with Jennifer Lawrence, Brian Tyree Henry, called Causeway. It just seemed like that type of film where she's been in a traumatic event in her life. She's got to try to come back from it. And, she's going to have this character by her side to kind of get her there. At the end of the day, I think Causeway is the better movie. I think it just has better performances all around. I think this is it's a good film, but I think the rewatchability, like if you're going to watch a movie like this or Causeway, I would go see Causeway. The story's not exactly the same. I mean, the traumatic events are different that the characters deal with, but I think it was handled just better in that film. Plus, that film's shorter. This film is like a little over 2 hours, and you feel it. There's certain times, like especially towards the second act to third act, where you're saying, you know, this seems a little unfocused. You know, are they trying to focus on the Morgan Freeman character? You know, the granddaughter of Morgan Freeman. Everybody has their demons in this movie, and they deal with those demons. I just think it was a little, I don't want to say sloppy, but it was a little unfocused. And that led it to being a little too long. I think it could have been edited down a little bit. I think Morgan Freeman and Florence Pugh are really good. They're giving excellent performances, but I feel like everybody else isn't bringing the same talent. I feel like everybody else is just okay. Some of the lines you feel like are just being kind of phoned in. I don't know. That was me personally. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's an okay movie. It's watchable. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but it was nice to watch. Went on for a little too long. I was thinking, well, when is this going to end? Like, this is like, the movie has like 5 endings. You're like, okay, is it going to end? Is it going to end? Things continue to happen. And I was kind of checked out by that point. So it's a 3 out of 5 star movie for me. I'm right in the middle of the road on it, kind of indifferent to it. So that's where I'm at with this week's new release films. Now we can talk about the physical media roundup for the week. The new films that came out on Blu-ray and 4K this past Tuesday. First, we're talking about Missing. Did a review for this on an episode of The King's Corner when it came out. So we've got the King's Corner playlist. If you want to watch my review for Missing, go check that video out. I think I was sick in that video too, so you want to hear some more sniffles? Go check that out. Also, is Plane on 4K Blu-ray. Again, you want to check out my review for this and an episode of The King's Corner. It takes place, I think this came out the week before Missing, I'm pretty sure, but regardless, this is a really fun movie. Great action, and I really enjoyed it. And finally, it is a big 4K Blu-ray, I don't know what you would call it, digibook box set type thing of All Quiet on the Western Front. Oscar-winning film, All Quiet on the Western Front. So, yeah, I haven't checked it out on 4K Blu-ray yet, but I'm very excited to doing so. The set here is not very expensive, so it's really worth the money. I think it was like $29.99, somewhere around there. So it's definitely worth it. Great movie too. So that's where we're at with this week's episode of King's Corner. As I said, next week's the last one. We'll be talking about a lot of big new releases for a while. We're talking about Super Mario Brothers, Paint, The Murder Mystery 2, which is the Netflix film, and Air. So I'm very excited for all that. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for a bunch of content coming in the future, including future episodes of The King's Corner, Mandalorian spoiler reviews, Blu-ray updates, unboxings, and all sorts of stuff. Our live show where we give away a lot of digital copy codes. Come on back for all that. You can follow me on Twitter, RyanKing72, and Instagram and TikTok at KingArises131. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching my review. That's been it for me. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of The King's Corner. And until next time, over and out.